Are you pregnant with your first baby, or did you just have a baby? Well, if you're a new mom or you're about to be a new mom, this is a video you're gonna wanna watch. So here we go. So I remember this one time right after I had my first baby, Brody. He's now 2, but right after I had him, I remember having a visitor over and her telling me, oh, he's hungry, he's hungry. And I said, no, he just ate, he's not hungry. And she goes, no, he's for sure hungry. So I started second guessing myself and feeling like a little like, maybe she's right, because she'd had all these kids and I hadn't. So I decided to try to feed him, and he would not latch, would not eat, and was getting mad because he wasn't hungry. And that right there is something so small, but that is a prime example of how, as the mom or the parent, you will know what's best for your baby better than anybody else. So I don't care who's trying to give you advice, even if they're, meaning well, whether it's a parent or grandparent or best friend or whatever, if they've had lots of kids or not. At the end of the day, you do what you feel is right for your baby. And it's good to take advice from people because you need it. The saying, it takes a village to raise a kid, that is true. You need help from people. You will want advice. But you can, as people give their opinions and advice, you weigh it out against what you feel like is best, and you do what you need to do. I think that's one of the best advice I ever got, was that as the mom, and to my husband as the dad, we will know what's best for our babies better than anybody else, even with our lack of experience, because we were the parents chosen for our baby. And so follow your instincts, be confident in your role as the mom or dad, and do what you feel is best for your baby, regardless of what anybody else says or thinks. Okay, my next piece of advice is be kind to yourself. Now I know that sounds cheesy, but it is so true. When you have a baby, you will be feeling all kinds of things. You will be feeling like you are put on the back burner yourself, because you are. You now have this baby that you've got to care for. The baby can't do anything for themselves, so you are the one that kind of has to do it all. And even with a spouse or a partner helping you, as the mom, it just kind of pans out that the mom will carry a lot of that weight, especially with a young baby. And so that's okay though. You just have to make sure that you also allow time for yourself. So whether that means that you take an hour and you go get your nails done, or you go get a massage, or you just tell your, someone to help you watch the baby so you can take a nap or take a bath. Whatever makes you relax and makes you feel rejuvenated, do it. Go work out, get some endorphins, like whatever it is, do it. Because you don't want to completely neglect yourself and say, oh, I'm selfless, I'm gonna do everything for the baby, and never focus on yourself, because you will eventually burn out. You will be feeling left empty. And I remember someone telling me, it's so hard to fill, somebody else up if your tank is running on empty. So it's hard to be a great mom or a great wife if you are empty yourself. So fill up your tank, do something for yourself, and don't feel like if you do that, you aren't a good mom or you don't love your baby. That is all far from the truth. You need to take care of yourself and take care of your baby. And by taking care of yourself, you will be able to do the other part of that better. So that is a huge, huge point. And there's so much with social media, there's so much mom shaming, mom guilt, judgment that is out there. And I say, tune it all out. Don't even think about it, and just focus on taking care of yourself and taking care of your baby. The next thing is keep social media in check. So when you become a new mom, and even if you're a veteran mom, people can fall into this trap, I feel like, of social media. Everyone on social media, to some extent, paints this picture that everything is perfect. It is a highlight reel of what you want people to see. I mean, that's just obvious. You don't want to have like a bunch of clutter laying around when you take a picture of your kid. You kind of move it out of the way, you make it look nice, and you take a cute picture for Instagram. That's just how it goes. And that is okay, as long as you can keep in mind that everyone has things that they are dealing with. Everyone's got struggles. No one's life is perfect. So while social media may make it look that way, that doesn't mean that it is. So if everyone's like posting all these arts and crafts that they're doing with their kid as a stay-at-home mom, and then you're sitting at home going, I can't even take a shower. I cannot get my crap together today. I am just barely making it. A lot of times they are too. It's just not shown. So don't allow the lies that social media can paint to cause you to compare yourself to everyone else, to beat yourself up and make you feel like you're not doing a good job. You are doing a great job. And that may sound cheesy, but it's so true. Sometimes we need to hear it, that we're doing a good job, and you are. If your baby is fed and happy and taken care of, and you're doing well and you're enjoying life with your baby, you are winning the day, okay? So don't act like all the laundry has to be put up and your house has to be pristine. You should see my house some of the time. You should see our laundry pile. My husband gives me such grace for the fact that I just can't always get it all done, especially now that I have 2 kids. I just had my second baby 10 weeks ago. And you've got to have grace for that and for yourself during a time of transition. And when you're becoming a new mom, it is a huge life change. So you've got to give yourself time to get in the swing of things, get in the rhythm of things, and just know that it's not always what it seems on social media. And social media is so fun and I love it, but you've got to keep it in check for yourself and not allow the comparison game to start and allow like lies to creep in about stuff that is just not true. All right, so the next thing is the newborn phase is hard. It's just hard. It's hard for everyone for a period of time. The good news is it gets better and it gets easier. So the newborn phase, I feel like, is hard because you're exhausted. That is a huge factor. When you are sleep deprived, everything feels overwhelming, at least for me. And I'm not a person who can function well on no sleep. So when I haven't been sleeping, I just get overwhelmed, stressed out, kind of bogged down. So if you're feeling this way, ask for help. Ask for someone to come over, watch the baby so you can take a nap to rejuvenate yourself and make your world feel a little less overwhelming. And the newborn phase is also hard because you're breastfeeding potentially, or even if you're bottle feeding, you're doing all of these feedings all day long. You're washing all this stuff. There's so many things to do, and that is hard too. But guess what? They slowly get to the point where they're doing less feedings. They get more efficient if you're breastfeeding, and they start eating food. They're drinking less bottles. Like, you have to take less stuff as they get older. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, I promise. You just have to survive for a period of time. I feel like the first 3 months you're kind of like in survival mode, and then it begins to level out. And also with newborns, there's no schedule. There's no rhyme or reason for anything. Sometimes they just cry like all the time. There's the witching hours, there's cluster feeding, there's all this stuff that you have to deal with that makes your life a little bit harder. But guess what? That all levels out and it all goes away eventually. So when I was in the newborn phase with my first son, I wish someone had been like, just hang in there, it gets better, it gets better. Like, I feel like I didn't really hear that much, and it does. It gets so much better. My son is now 2, like I said. He is a blast. He's so fun, he's so interactive, and he has been, like, I feel like the best phase started when he reached about 8 months. He started to get such a personality and interact, and it was so, like, rewarding, and I loved it. But also, like, now we can go places, and if I have a couple diapers, he's good. He can eat normal food out. He can drink out of a straw at a place. He doesn't have to have a cup. Like, he's so easy. So beyond the fact that he's a toddler and there's tantrums and other things you have to deal with, it gets so much easier. He sleeps great, and that all will come. So hang in there if you are in the newborn phase and you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't what I expected. I'm just trying to stay above water. They won't let me set them, the baby won't let me set them down. I'm wearing them in a carrier all day. They're glued to me. I'm stuck on the couch. All of these things I thought, it is hard, but enjoy those moments. It goes so fast. Enjoy it as best you can. Forget about all the other stuff you're not getting done, and it gets easier. It really does. The last thing I want to say is be confident. Be confident in yourself and in who you are and how you look, as hard as that may be. And I might be preaching to the choir a little bit here, because as a woman, you want to look good, you want to feel good, and when you have a baby, your body like just went through the ringer. Between the pregnancy and then the delivery, no matter how you have the baby, I had C-sections with both, but either way you do it, it is an adjustment on how you look physically, and it just takes time. You created a baby. You delivered a baby and created a life. You gained weight during your pregnancy. It takes time to lose it. And try to just give yourself some time. Be patient with yourself. Take the necessary steps to make yourself feel good, whether that's eating a healthy diet and working out and getting endorphins, going on a walk with your baby, doing things that make you feel good and help you move forward towards your goals of maybe losing the baby weight. But also understand that there are things that you can't change right away that will take time. Like, for example, you may lose all the baby weight but not still fit in your old jeans, and that could be because your bone structure takes time to like go back to normal, because you know it expanded obviously for you to have the baby. Or your stomach. My stomach is like, the skin is so like loose, and that takes time for it to tighten up because it stretched so far. Everything changes, like body wise up here, your stomach, all of it changes, and it just takes a little bit of time to readjust and go back to normal. But it will go back to normal, but you just have to be patient. So be confident in your like womanhood. Just like, I delivered this baby, it's such a gift, it's a beautiful thing, and eventually I'll feel like myself again from a physical standpoint. And I tell myself that regularly, because this time around with my second baby, I've been more in a rush to lose the weight than I was the first time. It's been harder to lose the weight this time than it was the first time, but I'm hanging in there, I'm moving forward, and just trying to better myself each day to reach my goals. So that is everything for this video. I hope that some of this maybe encouraged you if you're about to have a baby. Maybe it helped set your expectations for some of the hard stuff, but that it does get easier and it does get better. And if you're in the trenches right now, hang in there. You are doing such a good job, and you're beautiful. Like, having a baby is so cool, and even though you may not feel beautiful when you're covered in spit up and poop and all the stuff that happens as a mom, it's just, you're doing a good thing. And I feel like having a baby is such a blessing, and being a mom is one of the greatest jobs ever. So that's everything. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.